Every voice matters. If you have experienced sexualized violence and you want to break the silence, feel free to email us. You'll find the link in the description. Thank you for being here.
Ein Kind zu retten, dass es das nicht erlebt, ist das Größte, was du tun kannst.
Keiner weiß, was du eigentlich gesehen hast. Keiner weiß, was du eigentlich so fühlst. Keiner spürt, was dich irgendwann berührt.
Welcome, Nella, to the YouTube channel Ungebrochen. Very good to have you here. My first question to you is the same question I ask all of the other people I interviewed. It's what did actually happen?
Okay. Firstly, I would like to say thank you to invite me to the interview. I'm very happy to be here. And I would also love to share my story of what happened. So I came from a very small village. And in this village, I moved away from my home because of certain things that happened over there. And I would like to name a few of them. One reason why I moved out of the village is because of early childhood marriage or teenage marriages. Secondly is forced marriages. It's the second one. And thirdly is abuse. And when I say abuse, it's coming from the person you are forced to marry and your parents forcing you to marry that person for a specific reason. So reasons will be poverty, because African parents or my tribe thinks that kids, they give birth to kids for their own benefit. So, and the thing is, we are not allowed to speak up, we are not allowed to ask questions, and we are not allowed to say no. So that's what really happened. So because of this situation, I had to go away from the family and start my own life. Yes.
And can you tell us, where do you actually live, or where do you come from? Yeah.
I came from a village in the Chuganjupa region, which is over Karara in Namibia. Yes, that's where I came from. It's very small and it's more modern. It's not modern. It's where typical hereros are, which means they are more into traditional ways. They are more into traditional. They don't know about the modern world. They think that what they do traditionally is the best. Yeah.
Okay, and like the tradition is that, kids have to go into marriage. At what age?
So this happens to the hereros and it all happened with the Himbas. So it's like kind of a same tribe, but not really same, but we are all from the same root. So they start hitting on the kids at the age of 12 upwards. So when you are 12 years old, or the moment you start having your first period, or the moment you start having breasts, they already start hitting on you. But like in Namibia here, we have some cases where younger kids, more or younger than 12 years old, are being raped, and people just think that is normal. It's traditional way. So this happened mostly in Hereros and Himbas, that kids at the age of 12. So 12, 16, you can get married. 14, you can get married. 14, you can start already having kids with your husband, which is way far older than you. Yeah.
How old are the husbands or the men that are suggested to the kids or to the juveniles?
The men are probably they start for 40 years old. They can be 40 years old. They can be older than that. And the reason is because they are rich. They have a lot of cows. And the more you have things, the more you make decisions to those that don't have, the more you take advantage of people that don't have. So those men are probably 40 years old or older. And in some households, these men are having already other wives. So as when you are young, you can also be introduced to the wives. So you become part of the family because you are young, you can bear kids. And the other wives are a bit old, they are becoming weak. So that's why they putting young kids at the age of 14, 15, 16, younger than that. Yeah.
Can you explain to the viewers maybe how is it to grow up in such a village as a woman?
As a woman, growing up in those villages is honoring a man. What we do when we're introduced to modern world, when I see the world on the other side, when I go out of my village, I see the difference that we are being abused. That is being abused because everything you honor a man. You don't sit while the man is standing. You don't eat first before the man didn't eat first. The man has the right to beat you. It's okay. It is what do you call the word? It's
Like a disciplinary.
yeah, he's disciplining you. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't do anything before the men. The men are there sitting, talking too much, making decisions for you, making rules, and for you, you just pull. So it was really difficult because some of us, we experience it, men touching us, trying to report to our parents, but it's normal. So they got nothing to do with it. It's like you should follow what they want. So it was really difficult growing up in a household like that, and just because of culture. It was very, very difficult, and the only solution is to run away. Yeah.
And what did you personally like experience? How did they abuse you? If you feel that what we are doing is important and you want to see more of it in the world, if you want to be part of it and help break the taboo around this topic, you can support us financially, whether through YouTube's Super Thanks feature, although up to 30% of your support goes to YouTube, or via PayPal or bank transfer, where we can use your support in full. Every contribution helps us give survivors a voice and take the time this work truly requires. You can also help by liking and sharing this content to bring this topic into the world. Together we can truly make a difference, and we cannot do this alone. We need you. This channel may have many views, but due to the sensitive nature of this topic, we can hardly generate income through YouTube. You can find all informations in the description and in the comments. Thank you for being part of this mission and part of this channel. We are Unbroken and we are the voice of the voiceless.
So, with my own experience, I was touched by my so-called uncle, which also the person have the right to sleep with you. So he one day found me in a room where he came and told me that I'm grown, and he has been watching me, and he's touching me and forcing me to touch him as well back. And I said no. I said no, and I have to escape or just run out of the room. And this had been going on and on and on, but I try my best not to come closer to him, or whenever he come closer to me, I try to go somewhere else. Or yeah. But I was touched, and not only by him, also by other family members as well, or other men that are coming and giving things to your mother so that they give you. Yeah.
Actually, how old were you at that time?
I remember I was 12 or 13.
And how old was this uncle?
Of course, 40, 30, 40, 50. They were very old. When tell that this is an old person, but specifically 40 years old, 40 or 39, if I can keep a good guess.
And you said that this man the men have the right to sleep with you?
Yeah.
How?
They have the right because they are called your uncles and they are called your cousins. So these people have the right to just touch you because they will be like, your mother is my cousin, so I have the right to touch you, or I gave a certain thing to your mother so I can have you. So for example, maybe they talk behind your back that I can give you a goat, in return you give me a daughter. Or I give you money, in return you give me a daughter. So your mother will say, no, go and sleep with your uncle. I mean, you are a lady. So yeah, you should. So they just say, you have to. Because you are grown up, you are my cousin, you have to. And I give you something to your mother, which your mother had to pay with you. And your mother can't afford to pay it back. So the only solution she have is you. So that's her.
And I mean, is it like this that the family tries to make profit out of a girl? Because when I hear this, men come and they can give something to your mother or pay something. This is almost like prostitution.
Yeah. Eh, yeah. That's why, as I said earlier, that they gave birth to a lot of kids, especially they want girls because they know they can benefit a lot from girls. They benefit a lot from girls. So if you are beautiful, if you are well mannered, they take advantage of that very, very fast. Because you are hardworking. That's why so we are trained to every day in the morning. You wake up very early, you prepare food for the family so that you attract a good man. So when I say good man, is a man with things, cows, yeah. And you don't ever say you don't have the right to choose who you want. They choose it for you because they want to decide who have you because it depends on what they have. So yeah, they decide for you.
Yeah, but again, if the parents like decide which man you should marry, they will decide or they will choose the man with the most money or cows, or is it like this?
Yeah, yeah. The more the wealth, the more the men have the advantage to. Sometimes not the man that comes to you and wants you. Sometimes it's your own parents that goes to the man and ask if you want my daughter. Yeah. So it depends on the cows they have. So most of the time, because we in my country, Hereros are the settlers, they have a lot of cows. So to the family that have a lot of cows, that's the people that choose which girl they want.
This is so really crazy. How can like parents like want a girl and I mean they think of how can I profit of my kid as much as I can. For me, this sounds really ridiculous to have even such a mindset and also not to choose the best man for my daughter. Like, does he have like a good heart? Can he treat her well? Like emotionally, they just look how much money does he got.
Yeah, what matters is just the money. What matters is what your parents are going to benefit from the man. And even when you get married and you are not happy with your marriage, because in most cases, people that are married in this way are never happy. They are being abused in a lot of ways, physically, mentally, emotionally. They become slaves. So they have to do everything for their husbands and they don't have the right to cheat. You don't go out anywhere without your man's permission. You don't do nothing without his permission. And they are allowed to beat you. They can beat you however they want. And, you don't have the right to say anything. You can't go back to your family also to tell your mother that, Mom, I'm being abused, because your family also can attack you as well. Because they are asking the questions that, why is your man beating you? Where are you wrong? So you must fix that. Even if your marriage is over and you want to come back home, they don't take you like hardly because they know that you failed them already. You bring shame to the family, and so they also disown you. So you just stay with this abuse. You just stay with your husband abusing you. I mean, they don't care. Yeah.
Who invented this?
It's culture, and I think it was way more worse back then than now. Because now I think is the government is a bit interfering in changing life, and people are also getting a bit educated. So things are really changing, but not really fast or not that much. Yeah.
When I hear this, then I think about like being a girl in this tribe, growing up like this. Maybe there are some other stories, of course, where maybe parents treat them differently. But if it's like this, grown up like this, how you are telling us now, then this is almost like slavery for a woman.
Slavery for women. Yeah. Women have to give birth. Their work is just to give birth. They give birth. They take care of the kids themselves. They cook for the men. They do all the housework. They also go to the field again and do the the cropping things, and these are all ladies things, and they still have to bow to their husband's feet. Yeah.
And what does the man do?
Men actually just sit around. Back then they used to hunt, but nowadays they don't do that. There's no hunting anymore. So to them it's just to make rules, I think, yes. Just to make rules and sit under the tree for the whole day, just talking, hitting on the girls. That's what they really do. I can't name what they really do, nothing. Yeah.
So it's all on the woman, right?
Everything is on the woman. Everything. You can be beaten for studying a lady first, then we can be beaten.
Like how can the mothers look at this and don't do anything?
The mothers, I think they can't do anything because this is how also they were raised, so they don't see anything wrong with it. Because their mothers also treated them the same, and therefore that was the best. Because my mother have 13 kids actually.
Again, please.
My mom has 13 kids, and this is how she also goes, like paying with the men that she have to just give birth, she have to do ABC, ABC. So if she sees me also giving birth like that, she won't see anything wrong with it. Yeah, I think this is how she grew up. She grew up in a traditional way where she was given to a man as well that abused her as well. She told me that she was also being abused, and she doesn't see anything wrong with it. Yeah.
And yeah, you told us about a situation that your uncle was touching you. How did you feel after this? Because when you are conditioned like this, did you think like this is okay or this is wrong? And how did you feel immediately after this situation?
So I knew that it wasn't good because I go to school. So education is very important because in school we are told that nobody has the right to touch you at your private parts, and we were told which ones are our private parts. So in my culture, or when I was young, we used to wear only a certain clothing that doesn't cover our butts, that doesn't cover our breast. So when I started growing up, like 12 years old, no, when I was 11 years old, I started seeing changes on my body, which means I'm growing up, which means I'm becoming an adult or a teenage. So I started knowing that I should cover my body, I should cover my breast, and I should cover my parts. And this I was taught in school, like these are your private parts, and no one have the right to touch them without your permission. So when I saw my uncle coming to me and touching me in an appropriate way, or how to say it, yeah. And he was also not doing it in front of people. He was exclusive, so I knew that it was something wrong. It was not right, and I told him to stop. But he was doing it, and he started asking me also to touch him at his private part, which I knew also was not something good. So that's why I said, But it felt bad that someone wants to touch you at your age. It was really bad. And also, when I received my first period, I didn't share this with my mom because I know my mom will start chilling the men, and then the men will start taking advantage of me. Because with the men, if you didn't receive your first period, you are still a child. Yeah. And then if you receive your first period, you give them the signal that you are a grown up. Because back then, when we were told there was a camp, a certain camp with a certain man who was there. So whenever you receive your first period, all the girls in the village were being taken to this guy, where he go and train you for sexual desires, where he train you to be a good wife to your husband. So now, if you are 12 years old, you get your first period, you are taken to this camp, you sleep with this man will like, no, do this, don't do this, you should do like this, you shouldn't do like this. Preparing you, breaking your virginity so that you qualify to be a wife. So if the men come, they will say, no, that one was already trained. So they don't have any difficulties when you're going to your husband, you know everything, you know what you have to do. So this includes kids getting pregnant because there was no protection back then. HIV or other STIs, disease, like STIs infections, and a lot of things like hitting the kids, traumas, and everything. Yeah, so that's how it goes.
And this camp still exists today?
the camp doesn't no more exist because of the government. So the government interfered and say that is rape. Yeah.
This is, well, I mean, what the fuck? A camp where it's one man or many men?
One man.
One man.
One man who's selected, and this man was in his maybe 50s or 60s. He was old enough.
And with like training, it's sexual training,
Yeah.
just for the sexual.
For the sexual, it was just a sexual training every day where you have to sleep with this man. Because this man is the one who's teaching you how to sleep with your men. And this includes sexual activities.
I really don't know what to say.
Yeah, and I'm lucky that I was not born by the time.
Yeah. How many years is this like? Are we talking about 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
We are talking about maybe 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah, it's a bit quite a long time. Yeah, it's a quite long time.
So you just heard like the stories from your mom?
We just heard stories from our mom, like how they used to be. Because there was another one also that there are things that are inserted in their private parts as well. And these are also to attract men. So these are just sticks, like woods that are being stuck in their private parts. And this also include infections, some hurtings, some things stuck in them, and yes.
This was another kind of training?
Yeah, that was also another kind of training that was done to the ladies as well, and my mom also told me about it.
What is the why sticks? Why put sticks in the vagina? What is the reason for that?
To attract men, to attract your men. So they had think of always ladies should attract men, or when a man sleeps with you, that he shouldn't like dump you the next day. They must be attracted to you. When they sleep with you, they must feel that pressure. But they thought putting a stick in you, a certain stick from a certain tree, will fix your vagina, which was wrong because they don't know what poison is a tree having, or what side effect, or what is it for. They don't know nothing, so they just select a certain tree that they insert in you.
Okay, I understand. So it was just like a belief
Yeah,
that
exactly.
this tree.
That if you put this tree in you, you will if the men sleep with you, the men will not cause anyone. I mean, yeah, because you can be abused if you sleep with the man, and the man in the next place that doesn't want you anymore. So they blame it on you, and they blame it on your parents, that your parents didn't clean you. And I think that is still in existence is still today. As a person from my tribe, if you sleep with a man and the man the next day vanish, it means you were not nicely born, or your private part is just a disgrace or something. Yeah, that one is still in existence.
So if the man doesn't like you, it just goes away. It's
your bad luck. It's your bad luck, and it includes your parents as well. Yeah.
How are the parents included?
They will be like your mother that never claimed you, or your mother never helped you with this, or your mother just gave birth to a disgraced person because no man can sit with you. Now, or also what happens is you get married and your husband dies. When your husband dies, you become a shame to a family as well, because that means every man that comes in your vagina will die. So you eventually also die single sometimes, or if there is that man that really want to risk his life, also will come maybe and marry you, and you also suffer the same.
So that is a belief: if your husband dies, all other men that come after this,
they will start to die.
They will start to die.
Yeah, you just that's what they call it. They will call it. But if a man marries a wife and the wife dies, it's normal. It's okay. Yeah. To them, nothing happened. It's just the woman that dies. But if a lady, the husband dies, it's a problem.
It's really not easy for a woman.
No, it's not.
And I would like to ask again about this situation where the uncle touched you. We were there. How did you escape?
So,
In this situation, yeah?
From that situation, when my uncle was touching me,
Yeah.
I just ran out of the house. I just pushed him and then I ran out of the house. Because I was in the house, I was sleeping in my room, not because we sleep in the whole room, we sleep in the same room with other kids, but the kids were not around. So when he sees that other kids were not around and I was in a home, which means he was talking me. He came inside and then he said in my blankets, and I was like, why are you here? And then he was like, no, keep quiet, shut up. Started touching me, and he asked me, like, gripping my hand to touch him as well. But I stood up, pulled me back, and then because I was a bit maybe slim, but he couldn't catch me, and then I ran out of the house. Yeah.
Did you tell your mom or your parents about that?
No, I didn't. They don't know because it's useless. Yeah, no help will come. It's just how I can even get beaten for it because why you saying that? Why you saying that? Oh, yeah. So I did it. I just keep it to myself.
And you said like other men also did the same?
Yeah. When they see that my mom is not around, because why the thing is because some men, my mom will reject because they don't have nothing. Yeah. If it was a rich person touching me like that, my mom would have a problem. But now because it's poor people touching me, she would have a problem. So that's why they were waiting for my mom to go and they come and start, telling me stories that were grown up. Sleep with me, I'll give you a phone. Sleep with me, I'll give you money. Yeah. So
How many men were like involved?
I don't need a specific number, but 5 more. Yes. And nearby neighbors, some family members that are married, like my uncle who was touching me, he was married. Was a married man with his family, and that is close to us, but he was interested in me.
And what was like the worst situation that you have been in?
The worst situation that I've ever been is I haven't been really in the abusive way where I had to be raped or something. But it's just that one of many coming to me. But one day I remember my mom was not home till late, and there comes this man that says, "I gave money to your mother to help you, and it's either your mother bring back my money or I rape you now." So this man was traveling the door because my mom was not home and it was dark. So he forcefully almost opened the door, but luckily I was smart or something. Then I pushed like a sofa. It was something like a sofa that was in the house, so I come and blocked the door. And he was also a bit drunk, so he wasn't that strong to open the door. And that was very scary because if he had a chance to open that door, he would have raped me because he already gave my mom money. And the worst thing also is that the worst feeling that he was because when my mom came back, I told him the story that mom, this person was here and he was trying to do this, and my mom was threatening me, and he was, that is not a big deal. And it was really hurting because I never trusted my mom from that time. For such someone who wants, because she now blame it on me, like one thing also bring attack me or something like that. So you what I cling to say, like, and it was very painful. Yeah. I don't know what happened after, if she returned the money back or I don't know, but he didn't manage to rape me. Yeah.
When I hear all of this, how did you feel like inside of you emotionally while growing up? Because if things like this happen all the time, I can imagine that you just are maybe full of fear all the time because you never know if a man comes to you.
So that is my biggest fear. That is my biggest thing I'm never want to experience in my life is rape. So whenever I hear in news people being raped and killed, it's very painful because coming from the experience of the cultural thing, coming from a small community that we almost experience this. I mean, there's a lot of cases here, not only in my tribe, but the whole of my country that people are being really raped and being killed. We have a lot of cases like that. And it's very painful because that is one of my biggest fear is to get raped. To get raped. And the people here, they don't only rape you and let you go, they rape you and kill you. So how I feel now is that I'm very strong. I'm very strong that I want to get over it, even though it's not really something very easy. And this also came in with regrets. Why am I a lady? Because you regret being your gender, and which is really painful. That is not how it was supposed to be. Because I now regret why am I a lady? Because this thing can happen to me at any time. You don't know. Like, yeah. And me hearing in the news every day, there's always a girl that being raped, the girl that is being raped. I mean, it's very, very painful. So I have to, I had got myself as a very, very strong person because I get away with this situation. Yeah, it is not in my eyes. It's not happening in my eyes. But the thing is also that it still pains me. It still follows me because I know there are other girls that are in the same situation. Yeah, that are being raped. And not only my age, but are even 7 years old being raped and their body parts being cut in pieces. And yeah, so it's not something easy being a lady around some men, or you can't dress the way you want to dress because that also attacked raping on your body. And yeah.
So in this culture, in these tribes, they also practice like cutting the private parts of women?
No,
No? Okay.
they don't cut private part of the woman, but not specifically in my culture. It's just the whole of Namibia that we had cases like this year 2025 we had 3 kids that were under the age of 10 that were just raped and their body parts were just missing. One of them vagina, breast, arms. It's just them taking advantage of girls. And now they don't have any age. It's just when you are at any age you can be raped. In the northern part, there are babies with 2 months that are being raped by their own parents. And yeah, because you are young, you can die at any time. So
Like while growing up, did you witness other things that happened to other people in your maybe village or nearby?
yeah, I did experience with my friend who was schooling together, and she was also raped by her uncle. Yeah, she was just raped, and then this had to be told to the school. But luckily now, it was maybe 5 years ago, a person is in jail. Yeah, and these are always the people that we cast. These are the people we regard them as family members that does us, that does kids. It's not someone from far, it's just our people that are within our community that are our family members. So she was late and at the gunpoint.
Again, please.
At the gun, with the gunpoint.
With a gun pointed at her.
Yeah.
If we have such a structure that man can just control everything and the woman cannot even speak out, it's useless to say anything when you're inside, then this opens the door to, like, also in your case, okay, it's not, I don't know how to explain nice, but you were 12 years old when it started. And I imagine that if we have a culture like this, where men can do just anything, they can just also abuse a child, right? Like under 12 years, maybe 4 years, 2 years, like you said, and nobody would say anything.
Nobody will say anything. And I also forgot about this one. Well, it's also traumatizing, but not for so long, but it did. I remember with my man, I was staying with my man, but I remember very well by this time I was not in schooling. And my mom was with my stepfather. And I remember this time we were at the farm where my father was working. And because I'm the fourth child, and I had other 2 siblings. So the other 2 siblings are my stepfather's kids. So that night, my mother took one of my siblings and to the hospital. So I remember very well that my stepfather told me to go bath with my brother. We went to go bath, and he told me to sleep naked. Both of us to sleep naked, because I remember that we never slept naked, but he told me to sleep naked that night because my mother was not around. So we slept, I slept, I slept, but I remember he took a Vaseline, the shell of the whole thing, the whole bottle of Vaseline, applying only because I was feeling like uncomfortable sleeping. I slept without touch, yes, but I wasn't sleeping because I wasn't feeling comfortable. I never sleep in the caterers of why? So I wasn't really sleepy. I saw him taking that thing, wrapping on his private part, and then trying to force it in me. So the thing is, and he also applied on my private part. So I was pretending like I was still sleeping. I didn't wake up because he might beat me. Because I witnessed him beating my mom. So I thought he was so every day. Like I don't know what was the problem with him, but he was always beating my mom. Sometimes he was also beating us when we are making mess or something like that. So that night he applied himself the Vaseline and then he also applied it on me. And then he's forcefully trying to put something in, like forcefully trying to put his peers in me, but it wasn't fitting. So that's the reason why he stopped. And I also didn't tell my mom. Daisy doesn't know, my mom doesn't know. And she came back. I was afraid of my father. Yeah. So when my mom came back, I wanted to tell her, but I can't do it because I know this is a man she loves, so she wouldn't want to. I don't know. He can't confront the man just because of me. So I didn't start school by the time. I remember very well. So I just kept it to myself until now. But I remember, I think this year at the beginning, that man also started writing me messages because we were still in contact when they broke up with my mom. We were still in contact because I regard him as my father. All this time, since I was born, he was the one present, so I thought he was my father. But when I grew up, I started asking my mom about him, and then my mom has to come to me and tell me that that is not your father because. And then it came to my mind that no, he's not my father. That's why he did what he did. But my mom was like, Ika, why were you asking about him? Why do you want to know about it? Because I knew that he wasn't my father. So this also things that happen in families, stepfathers doing that to their step kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a strategy of perpetrators really often that they maybe search for single moms, become the stepfather and then abuse the kid.
Then abuse the kid.
Yeah, this is a very common strategy on the perpetrators. Yeah, but my goodness. And how did you come out? Like you said you went to school and this changed your mind, or how did you even, is it normal to go to the school for a girl like you at that age?
Yeah, it was normal to go to school because I go to school also late with 7 years old, and I don't know how, but it's a must like everyone. I think these are the things that were announced in newses by the president that every child have to go to school because I think they noticed that a lot of kids were still at home. So they break a news like every child at the age of what should go to school. So it was a must for my mom to take me to school. So when I went to school, I was being in a sponsorship. So this sponsorship is also the one that really helps me a lot to know about other things as well, not only culture, not only your home, but to also know about other things. So I also went away from my family with their help because they bring me here to the city now where I just no more go back home. Yeah. So I just escaped the whole thing with their help, with myself, that they just come to the city and you start studying and yeah. Then I just moved away from my family for a very long time.
Okay, so you started to attend school at 7 years old?
Yeah, I started to going to school with 7 years old.
And when did you have this? When did they tell you that nobody is allowed to touch you at your private parts? And how did you feel when you heard this? Because if you grew up in a completely different way, that your culture says this is okay, and then you are maybe sitting there in school and what are they telling me? This is not correct. How was it?
Yeah, it was a bit tricky because at home you are being told about, you are wearing what you are wearing because I told you we were only wearing certain things that were exposing our parts, exposing our breast. which now I came to see that maybe they were advertising us to men. That's why they were only putting us some different kind of wearing. But now when you go to school, the school is telling you to cover up your body because that is your private part. So because most of the time I was spending at school, being taught, because we go to school in the morning and come back in the evening. And then also what helps me was the images in the book, because we used to be given story books about our rights, about things like that. I mean, that's how it came in my mind. Like, what are being told at home is not right. Because in a book, you are being told like no one should touch your body. And for example, they also put a story about maybe Sarah and her father, where Sarah is also being in the same situation, being touched. And then Sarah said, no, you should go to the police and report. And the father went to, so you have these stories. And then also the other important thing was there was this organization from the city that also was coming to our school and making what do you call this? A drama. So this was also about small kids being abused or being abused at home or sexually being abused that you should report. So this was something that was everywhere in school, in dramas, also in radio. Sometimes that there were radios thing that were saying dramas also on radio that a certain girl was also raped, and then they were also on TVs. So it was a whole educational thing, because I think they knew that there was a lot of abuses with young ladies and stuff. So they put it everywhere. So we used to watch it in news. We used to watch it on in radios and stuff and stuff and stuff. So that's why I also came to mind that no, what I'm being told at home is not nice. So at the age of 12 already, I started covering up my body, even though my mom didn't want. She didn't want us to cover up ourselves. We are still young. We are still in culture. Why are you covering up your body? Why you will start wearing a panty? Which was not regarded as you should do it. So with school, I said, no, that is not the right rule. I should cover. Yeah.
How many years or at what age did you go away from your family?
I was 19. Not 19. Sorry. 20. Yeah, 20, turning 21. That's when I have to, because also like this, because I was done with school in my village, I have to move. So I took that advantage to move away. Because if they were strong enough, they couldn't allow me to come. But I tried, and my also sponsors helped me to come to India. So I agreed, yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 23.
2020. Okay, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, that's when I came.
Wow, and this, I mean, at the age of 12, this man came and started to touch you and everything. And then you are there for 8 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was that? Because I can imagine if at 12 years this shit starts, then in 8 years many things can happen. And also maybe men want to come close to you or marry you, or your mom wants to sell you maybe to some guy, yeah, how did you survive 8 years?
So 8 years, most of them I was at the hostel. I went to the hostel. So this is a boarding school. I went to the boarding school. Yeah, that's
So you stay at the school, right?
so yeah, but that was not at the age of 12. So there was 12. I went to the boarding school when I was maybe 18. So with this 5 years old, it was, this from 12, 13, 14, it was, a runoff of men. So this is where I experienced my uncle touching me forcefully, not once, not twice, but different times. And also this man who wanted to struggle the door to enter. So that those were the years. But sometimes, to be honest, there were times my mom would get me to men. They come to my house. We sit together at the fire. And you think that that is just a normal conversation, but you can see that my mother is forcing me, like, just go and talk to him, like, inside the house or something. Well, I'm like, why? Why should I go with the men inside the house or something and talk? So this is also in my understanding that, no, these men preach something to my mom for me to hear the conversation. So I rejected different of them. And there were times I remember also, like, I became like more professional in this, like talking to them. because my mom said he has money and we are hungry at home maybe, or we don't have food, where I'll be like acting like I really want him, then he gives some food to my mom and then I start refusing. But luckily they didn't put the blame on me. They go and start like arguing with my mom. And it's something that I started putting myself in because I mean, I don't know for what reason, but I was putting myself sometimes with this man. Yeah, because my mom would come and say, it's just a conversation, just to him. Then he give us money then, which was not good. Yeah. But growing up, and then I have to go to the boarding school. I think that's where it ended.
Wow, I think this you need to be really like you have to have power, yeah,
Yeah, you have to.
to refuse all these offers, because also when I think maybe your mom or your parents could really put a lot of guilt on you, that it's your fault that the man come and you refuse them, and you know but you didn't feel like guilty for this. You knew what you wanted, and this was like wrong.
Yeah, sometimes we were feeling guilty. Where I was feeling guilty is because we are not really rich. I'm from a poor family. So when you don't have food at home and there's a man who's willing to buy food at home, you were supposed to give your body. And if you say no, then your siblings and your mother, no, nothing. So when the man goes, your mom will start blaming on, I have a lady at home, but we are still dying of hunger. So you just kept quiet and then you start saying, oh my God. Sometimes you were also taking the guilt, like, oh my God, what did I do? I was just supposed to do this. And there were even times where because of hunger, where you just sit and say, oh, can I really do this? But luckily, I really didn't do it. I never did.
Yeah, and also luckily your mother never forced you really into a marriage, yeah? Because I know other stories that it doesn't matter if you say no, you will have to marry this man.
Yeah, there was those times also where but lucky me, I don't know, maybe it's because there were no uncles in my household that were forcing me to marry someone. Yeah, gladly. But that one of forcing you to sleep with someone, they were those ones, but I said no. But marriage, I never had anyone who wanted to marry me, maybe because I'm was unattractive by the time, or I don't know the reason.
Oh, really? So this man, they came to your mom and asked you not for marriage, like for sleeping with you?
Yeah. At least to sleep.
What the-
They give her something. They give her money. They give her things. Yeah.
This is crazy. I thought they came into the house to ask for marriage.
No, just to sleep with you. Some ladies are lucky or unlucky that men ask them to marry them, but for me, it was only 6.
Really, this is, I mean, then your mom functions like a pimp in this situation. As hard as it is to say, but this is what pimps do, right?
Yeah, and not only here, but other people. Also.
Yeah.
And all of them. Yeah, they does that.
How do you feel about your, how do you feel about your parents? Like the man that you considered like your father and also your mother?
I mean, I don't like them at all. I talk to them. She's my mom, but no, we are not. We are only related by blood because she's my mom. She's the one who gave birth to me, but not because I like her, or not because she likes me also. Yeah. And my stepfather, I don't talk to him anymore because I tried to talk to him back then, like months ago, but he was trying to be sexualizing me as well at my age again. But I wanted to remind him if he remember the time, but I just say let it go. It's okay. Yeah.
It's really like, if I hear all this, then sex is such an important topic in this culture. Is that true? If you want to support us in the fight against the silence surrounding sexual abuse, please give this video a like, share it, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel. And if you'd like, You are also welcome to support us financially. Thank you for being here. We are unbroken and we are the voice of the voiceless.
Keiner weiß, was du eigentlich gesehen hast. Keiner weiß, was du eigentlich so fühlst. Keiner spürt, was dich irgendwann